Hello, everyone. My name is KJ, and today is my non spoiler review for the new movie directed by Christopher Nolan, which is in theaters right now, The Odyssey. Non spoiler review. So, if you have not seen this, let me be the one to convince you to go to the movie theaters and definitely check this out because this is a film that I believe is worth seeing not just once, but twice, whether it's back in theaters or on streaming service when it's available on a streaming service. So definitely worth it, guys. And don't worry, again, this is my non-spoiler review, so I'm not gonna spoil nothing. I'm not gonna go in a deeper dive about scene by scene. But if you have seen this movie, do check out my spoiler review for the movie The Odyssey, starring Matt Damon, Tom Holland, and Anne Hathaway. So definitely check that out if you have seen this movie. But if you have not seen this movie, again, let me be the one to convince y'all to check out the Odyssey. So, before I start my non spoiler review, check out this skit that I made for y'all. And then after that, I'll give you my non spoiler review for the movie The Odyssey. So, enjoy this skit. All right, everyone. This is my unboxing for my two new action figures from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Reignition. Of course, I got the Green Ranger. You know, I had to get him. I had to get Tommy. This is like the first wave of it. Obviously, I know there's a second wave available now at a lot of stores and stuff, but here it is. Boom. And it flips his head, but we'll get into that. As you can see, it displays his laser gun. And of course, the dagger, or he calls the Dragon Sword. Oh, actually, that's not even that's a sword, but that's his shooter. That's the laser gun. So laser gun, and I forget what that is, but I know that's the dagger, where he calls on the dragon. And on the back too, which is really cool design. It kind of gives you the description of each Power Rangers, as you can tell. And it shows the old school Power Rangers. And obviously in this one you go from green, pink, yellow, blue, red, and black, with the three villains so far in this batch is Rita, Goldar, and one of the putties, which they're scary, but that's a different story. So I got that. Look at that. Bang bang. Let me just push this a little bit back more so you can see. So definitely, I'm gonna collect the rest. So course, I said I got Tommy Oliver. You know, so now I got to get the Red Ranger, right? So I got him. I got the Red Ranger. Bam. This is Jason. Jason Lee Scott. Okay, because we know in was it season 2, season 3, maybe it goes to a new member named Rocky. So, but that Red Ranger is also available in the second wave of Power Rangers Reignition. So it's getting there. They might do Zeo. Who knows? I don't know. I hope they would. But again, same thing. If you go on the back, it gives a description of who each Power Ranger is. Like this one's from Jason. And, you know, obviously he's a naturally born leader and all that. But again, with this one, he has his I guess I don't know what you call that. I don't even remember it. I know all the Power Rangers use it, but I don't remember what that is. But it's like a little sword, like a Swiss blade. Then he has his sword, right? Which I forget. I'm sure it's to the dinosaur that he has, which is the T Rex Tyrannosaurus Rex. And then of course he has the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger little gun blaster, laser blaster. Pew, 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 pew. So again, same thing. Let me just compare them both before I open them. Bang. This is it right here. Here we go. Woo woo. So now let's open them. So obviously we should do the Green Ranger first because why not? I got the hoodie on, and of course I got the helmet, but I don't want to reach and get that thing. So we'll start with unboxing him. So I'm just gonna rip it. What? This is by made by Playmates. So why not? All right. Oh, of course they zip tied it. Then they zip tied him. Why? So you can't steal it. Okay, okay. Well, let me let me pause this thing because I need some sharp stuff. Okay, so I got it. I had to use some sharp objects to open this, but I didn't want to show that part because of YouTube. But here it is. He's free, and right here you can open it and look. He took his helmet off. What ya want? See, he said, "Back up, son. Back up." So, and then obviously when you want to morph him, bang. Now let me start off with, he has his little laser blaster right here. It's tiny. It's a tiny one. It's pretty cool. That one's pretty cool, and obviously you can put it in his hand. If you can, I think you can. Maybe you can't. Yeah, you can. 'Cause why would they tell? That's crazy. Maybe he's a right lefty. Maybe he's a left. Shout out to all my left. Obviously, I cannot get the I can't get the Green Ranger to hold the the banger, the laser blaster. Oh my gosh, this is tough. No wonder why kids lose patience. Because I'm losing patience. There we go. Bam! I got it on him. This Now he's ready to go. He's ready to blast. Maybe Thanos from maybe showing up in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Who knows? He just pew, 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 pew. Anyway, you got him, Nat. See, you can hit him, aim him out. Do the flip. Wah, boo, boo, boo. See, and then obviously you can put it in his little pouch case holder. I don't know the term. Anyway, you can put him in there. So now he's set. He's strapped. He's strapped. Who wants some? Then obviously he has this, which does not bend, but I don't know where you would put this at. So obviously I could put it in his hand and stuff, but for the sake of this, I'm not gonna put this in his hand. But yeah, obviously this is his little Swiss Army thing. I don't even know what you name this thing, but it's there. But here it is. It's very woo. It's very difficult to have these type of action figures hold them. But now to the Dragon Dagger. Now, obviously, it's not it's not the right color. Obviously, it needs to have some green. But, you know, it still does the job. Obviously, I cannot. And again, it's difficult. You're gonna have to try to slide this in his hand, but once you do, and I put it on the wrong way, but just twist that baby like this, and then you can try your best to call the Dragon Zord. Boo, 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 boo. See, he's calling it, but I called my cat by accident. So yeah, it's just that's it. Honestly, you can do that, and then you know, you just fight. You just fight. See, you can fight without the helmet too. Bang. Oh, sorry, everybody. Now let's open Jason, season one for sure. He's season one. Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, the Red. Let's go. As a collector, I cringe to open up this stuff, but I want to open these. I always say, "What? I collect so much Funko Pops. I feel like I should be able to open these and still collect them." That's all I'm saying. Now I gotta pause this because again, you two might get mad about the sharp items that I might use to get off these Twizzlers because they got these guys tied up like either Lord Zed or Rhea Repulsa tied them up in this thing because I don't even know what's going on. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. So I use my sharp objects to untie this guy. So again, this is Jason, the Red Ranger. Flip his head. Boom, boom. You know, look at that. Bam. I'll kick you too. Ba, 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 ba. So again, got his little blaster, laser blaster. Pew, pew. Obviously, I'm just gonna put that because this is tough, but again, it's for kids or like somebody like me. And I gotta put the bad boy on. This is his. This like he's like Link of Legend of Zelda, but obviously not. He's the Red Ranger, but this is his sword. Yeah, if you know the reference, you know the reference. That one was a little easier. That one, that one was dope. Oh, let me flip it. It's more time. Again, he's got one of these too. So I guess he. No, it fell out. It's not meant to go the way I would hope. And then boom, bam, he's ready. He's ready to go. See? Bah, 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 boom. Jason, the Red Ranger needs two. Green Ranger only needs one thing. Bah. But here they are. Look, they can unmorph. See? So yeah, really cool. I mean, they're just nothing special. They're not like the Legacy Edition or top tier quality action figures of these Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that have been made and sold over the years. But you know, if you just want to collect something simple, really cool, and you're not that picky about the design, you know, they obviously they're like they have big chests and skinny legs, and I mean they're not flexible. They're not flexible, but if you're okay with that, definitely worth collecting. And am going to get the rest of these, so definitely be on the lookout for these. But honestly, you know, from the Red Ranger, you know, it's all red. I mean, it's the suit, you know, and green. See, I'll turn them around. Do a 360. There you go. Look at that. That Hank Hill. Don't. If you know, you know then. But anyway, boom. That's what it is. These are pretty cool. Obviously, I'm satisfied with these, and obviously, you can make them fight, team up, take on the bad guys. You know, whatever you need to do to make the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in your life special. Definitely get these reignition. They're obviously they're not the greatest designs, but they're really cool for anybody that enjoys the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, no matter what. So I say these are A plus type action figures, in my opinion. Got no hate about them. So these are really cool. So there you go. Enjoy my non spoiler review for the Odyssey. So enjoy, y'all. Enjoy this skit. This film, the movie Odyssey, is well written and produced by director Christopher Nolan. And I would say the thing that he created this film is definitely should be in the top 5 movies of the year 2026. I do believe this movie deserves the chance to be in the number 1 spot of top 5 films of 2026. And yes, this film is competing against movies like Spider-Man Brand New Day and of course Avengers Doomsday. So it's got 2 competitions of blockbuster hits, but it definitely is a top 5, and I do believe again this should be have the number 1 spot. And of course this film is taking you on, you know, an emotional ride. We're seeing how this is about the before Troy and after Troy, the story of Troy in the Odyssey, of course. If you know your history of about it and you read this before, it definitely has it. Which this film, it shows it's more of a gritty, gloomier version of what this story is about, the Odyssey. But it's told so well, and they did such an excellent job as far as the cast did. They did great as a performance, portraying historical characters and stuff, and just bringing them back to life in their own way. You know, it just was had so much beauty to it, and for a 3-hour movie, it goes really good in details about the story of the Odyssey, and it takes us on this long journey, whether it sometimes it does have a supernatural sci-fi feel to it, then also too it takes us on just a very dramatic ride where a lot of emotions change, and we're seeing the struggles, we're seeing the passion, and we're seeing a new era evolving as the story of the Odyssey is told in this. And again, it did so well with it. And I think it's worth going to the movie theaters as this film was shot in IMAX cameras tech. And this is definitely, you should definitely watch it in IMAX if you can. And again, the main plot of this film is not like a groundbreaking, story changing thing, but I do find it very interesting that Christopher Nolan made it more modern for this current generation, whether you're a Gen Z or Gen Alpha, what you guys call it. Like he took it in a modern way and used modern versions to explain this adaptation of the story of the Odyssey. And I think when Christopher Nolan did that, I don't think it's bad. I think it's a great thing, and he just explained it in a different way of it, which I thought is pretty. well. I mean, it told the story so well. Again, not a groundbreaking, something new story, but it definitely had its moments of showing a different lens, not through the warriors, not through kings and queens, but just a different perspective, viewpoint of how this story took place and what went down in it. So it does take elements from different books that was written by different authors. You know, like I said, example, he Christopher Nolan took a lot of inspiration from the author Homer, who wrote about the Odyssey, but also by an author named Eliot, who wrote the story about the Odyssey as well. So he took a little bit of here and there and just told it in the way he thinks it should have been told from as a movie point. And yeah, not everything about this is accurate to the story of the Odyssey, but that's obviously just because he probably had to sacrifice for the time and keep it as, because it is a 3 hour movie. So he had to keep it 3 hours long. So a lot of things had to get cut, sacrificed. And, obviously he focused on the things that he wanted to show and highlight through this whole film. So really good. Like, this movie to me is not like a history movie. This is more of a, like, I would say this is more of a dramatic version of the story of the Odyssey. That's the best way I can explain it. At times in the beginning, it was it started a little slow, but it it was just trying to set the layout of it. And another way I can compare this film to is that it had the same format that Christopher Nolan used when he did the movie Oppenheimer. It has the same movie format, that the way he did it, and it definitely shows in this film. And again, not a bad thing. Is just is showing more of the darker times of this, which I thought it was a really interesting take of the Odyssey. So this, just want to put it out there, like, this is more of a, it also too, it felt like a play. It felt like a real play, right? Like, cuz a lot of these actors and actresses are somewhat Hollywood big names in Hollywood right now. For example, Tom Holland, Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, like, big names, big names. And there's so many more big names in this film that I just don't have the time to go through them, but it just felt like a play. And Christopher Nolan, as the director that he is, he brought the best elements and qualities with the whole cast to for them to shine and portray the characters that they are portraying. And it just he really knew how to place everything. His visuals on this film was amazing, and he's very creative with the camera angles with this stuff. And I mean, it was like, it's like watching art come alive the way he did this. So kudos to him for that. Now, let me talk about the things I didn't like about it, and then I'll talk about things that I did like about this film. And the the two things, I just think they're minor things to complain about, that I would not like about it, is the first one. I felt like this film, I wish there was more, like, more bloody, more gory when it comes to the action and the sword fighting and the deaths that we see in this, because it is the story of the Odyssey, and like, when that people went to war and battle. You know, I wish they show more of the blood. I wish they show more of the guts come out, and really because it did have a darker, grimmier version of this element in this film. So I wish they did that. And then the second thing is throughout this film, it felt slow, really slow paced at times. Like it would speed up and then it start really going extremely slow. And I understand like they're trying when it comes to dialogue, they want to have whatever character, whatever actor and actresses say everything in the most detailed way, which is totally fine. It fits for this type of movie for sure. And so they definitely did nail that, but I feel like at times because of that, it was just slow. But I get what he was trying to explain and show and demonstrate about the main character and stuff in the Odyssey film that is the star of Matt Damon. And so I totally get why he did that. And if I and those are really the only two minor things that I didn't like about it, but those are just minor things. I don't think it's that big of a deal. You know, does every film have to be bloody and gory? No. But I felt like certain scenes I felt it was appropriate to have those type of moments. But he didn't have those. So not a big deal. But again, I wish those are the 2 things I wish I had if I had a nitpick, those would be the 2 things. So, now, the things that I did like about this is visually, this movie is good looking, like, very polished, very clean. It the outfits, the armors, it is they just look amazing. The ocean looked good, the different locations all over the Greek just looked good. It looked grimy, it looked poor and dirty at times, like, it looked the way it needed to look, and he just visually Christopher Nolan just totally gets it, like, he nailed it on the visuals, and the fact that, you know I learned before I even saw this movie that Christopher Nolan on and behind the scenes stuff that him and the other cast members have said in interviews too that there is not a lot of CGI or VFX effect. A lot of it was like built, a lot of props and were built and used. And he just found a way to make it look so realistic and stuff. And I think kudos to that. Like that's really awesome. And I like that. That's what made me really intrigued to go see this movie because it's such a mystery how he did it. And obviously they explain it behind the scenes in interviews in media scrums and stuff. But I just thought that was cool. The second thing that I like about it, I think Matt Damien did really well playing Odysseus. I mean, he nailed it, and again for Christopher Nolan, I thought it was an interesting way he portrayed Odysseus, but the way Matt Damien did, he brought that character to life, and he portrayed him very well, and he did really good. Like honestly, it was one of Matt Damien's best acting, you know? I mean, he's good in a lot of the movies, don't get me wrong. Jason Bourne is a classic franchise that I still love to this day. But Matt Damien just did such a good job. Tom Holland killed it. Robert Patterson nailed it. Like, he is such a good actor. I thought he was just amazing in this. He plays a really good bad guy. He plays it real good at it, and I just liked it, and the third thing that I like about it, the ending is great. It made total sense, and again, Christopher Nolan uses took he took his take on this story with a more modern version of this story that again this generation could understand and relate to, or just understand the point of the ending. And I thought he did so well with that. It made total sense. And it was a good ending for it, for this film. And I wouldn't change the ending for nothing. Like, honestly, that was a really cool ending to this film. Like, this they he really executed this one. So that, I mean, honestly, just beautiful with it. Real beautiful with it. And you know, if I had to give this a 1 out of 10, I would give it an 8.5. Again, really good film. Like, this is a movie to me that if 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 it's not a superhero movie, this movie really to me saves the movie theaters, right? Because this is a film that just told a story that's been told before, but told it again. The story's been told in a more refreshing way that I believe that is worth seeing. Like, this is worth the movie ticket. It's worth buying the popcorn. I mean, I honestly regret I didn't buy that popcorn bucket. I should have bought the Trojan horse popcorn bucket, but because after seeing that Trojan horse in this film, I should have bought the popcorn bucket for sure. And again, that was very cool take on the Trojan horse that I think you guys would really like, and it's such an interesting take on it, in my opinion. So this film, again, it's an 8.5. It's such just a movie that needed to be retold, needed to exist in this world, and what a masterpiece. Like, this thing just nailed it. This is a film that I can rewatch more than twice, and I can still enjoy it for what it is, because this is it's a simple story of the story of the Odyssey, but man, it's just so good. Like, it's worth seeing at least twice, whether you watch it in theaters again or just wait to whatever streaming service it's available on. But definitely, it's worth watching again at least. Like, what a great movie, and I'm glad I watched it. It was fun, and of course too. Another thing I just point out, it showcases too, like when people do come together and stand up for what's right and want change. So I really liked about that too. So, but that is my non-spoiler review, guys. If you have seen this movie, guys, check out my spoiler review for this, where I go in a scene by scene and going into a deep dive about that whole film and talk more in depth about the characters, what happened in this movie, and show clues and historical stuff that's shown, and of course the Easter eggs in this. So definitely check out that spoiler review, guys. But thank you guys so much for checking out my non-spoiler review. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment Official channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys, and peace